r/confessions. Sit back, relax and enjoy this video. I'm working to destroy the lives of people who were my friends for years. This is going to be a long story and I apologize. Also, I failed English multiple times and school PLS, don't judge me. For years, dating back through middle school, I had a group of really close-knit friends and we stayed that way until a year or so ago. All played on the same team together, frequently hung out, all of your normal teenage things. Once college started though, I noticed they started to distance themselves from me. At first it was little things, inviting everyone to eat but me, talking about plans they made in front of me but not actively involving me in them. Now I'm generally a pretty level-headed person, but this started to get to me after a while. A little insight to this story I forgot to mention. I was arrested at 16 for shoplifting stupid shit because I was a stupid 16-year-old. So around a couple years ago, I started working with friend number 1 for his dad's company. Everything is cool, 6 AM to 6 PM job, we live together so we're both going at the same time and have the same schedules. But all of a sudden this friend just starts to slowly become a lazy pose. He stays out till 3 AM drinking, doesn't go to work or is late, and because of this, his dad fires him. Around the time he gets fired, me and my girlfriend start to notice stuff is missing. At first it was $5, then it was $10, then it was a pair of Beats, and so on and so forth. I had 2 other roommates, one of whom was actually unemployed for the entire duration of our lease, so we assumed it was him. We bitched at him and tried to get him to give us our things back, but he insisted it wasn't him. Stuff still is disappearing, but our lease is up and I moved to a new place with friend number 1. Once we move, I really start to see the difference in the friend group. When we moved out of the old house, I was left with a $1,000 electric bill and we had to pay $2,500 after moving because the friend and lazy roommate left trash and didn't clean and refused to do anything to the house. None of my friends or old roommates cared about how it affected me, the only one with a half-decent credit score for a 21-year-old. I'm still working to pay it all off to this day. Between work and school, finding the money has been hard to say the least. My friends start doing less things with me and they all complain about stuff disappearing from their homes, just like me and friend number 1 were 6 months after we move into the new house. Friend number 2 tells us all that his girlfriend lost a bracelet. He said it cost like $100, so it was a big deal. He asked us all if we had taken it as a joke or whatever, and every one of us said number 2 weeks later, and my friends have completely excluded me from their lives. Won't talk, text, anything, including my roommate. A couple days later I get a call at 4 AM while I'm at my girlfriend's house from the friend number 2. Saying he found the bracelet in my desk. Confused, since I just woke up, I asked if friend number 1 was home and how he got in. He proceeds to tell me that the door was unlocked and he walked into my apartment and looked in the main drawer of my desk and found it. My girlfriend calls him to say she was looking in my desk earlier that day and found no such bracelet, so it must be a mistake. He then proceeds to call the police and have me arrested for theft. I spend 3 days in jail before I get released and am forced to do community service and pay a $750 fine. I go back home and a couple days later it is friend number 1 birthday and he was given AirPods that mysteriously go missing again, putting me to blame, and I'm sent to jail again, this time for a month. After this, all communication with the group stops. Friend number 1 moves out and leaves me with a $900 apartment to pay by myself. I lost my job because I had been arrested, and my girlfriend lost all trust in me but stayed with me anyways. I will never be more grateful for anyone than I am for that woman for doing that for me. We had 6 months left on our lease and naturally I can't pay that much money. So I get evicted and have the $5,400 in rent, $1,200 in overdue bills or cancellation fees, and nowhere to live. From this moment on I made it my sole goal to get some sort of payback. I started searching and collecting any information I could use to help clear my name and get back at them. I found out recently that friend number 1 has raped 4 girls who are all willing to testify against him. He would drug them at a bar, take them to his home and have them Uber home whenever he was done with them. All 4 of them the exact same way from the same place. Friend number 2 is getting married and has had sex with his fiance's mother and sister multiple, which I have proof of and am going to expose at his wedding. They have this false sense of being a perfect couple, or at least she does, and watching it shatter will bring me nothing but joy. They didn't get much involvement in the story since they were major components, but friend number 3 has been smuggling drugs from Mexico. I live in Texas. And for friend number 4, he's an all-around good dude who gets peer pressured really easy, but I haven't found anything for him and don't really feel like looking. I've been thrown in jail twice for things I have not done. I've been dealt with $10,000 worth of debt and a ruined credit. I've had to regain the trust of someone I love dearly. And all of this because my friends think of me as nothing more than a liar and a thief. I may be a terrible person. I may be young and naive. But I refuse to have my life ruined over something I didn't do. If I have to deal with it, then so will they. Edit number 1. Friend number 1 has been confirmed as the thief. He moved out into a house with another guy and his stuff started disappearing as well. Confirmation came straight from the source. Edit number 2. For all those disregarding my story, I understand it is a wild story. But there are other stories on here just as and even more so than mine. Just because it isn't easily believable doesn't make it false. I use this Reddit account for all of my sports gambling and I've had it a year. I have no reason to make up a story for karma on an account that normally serves one purpose. I just bought my dad a bedroom set. I am 16 and I got my first job in May. I've been saving all of my checks for the best 7 months to buy a bedroom set for my dad after his divorce when his wife cheated on him with his friend. She got everything. The house, the car, almost everything inside. He was devastated. Living in a 1-bedroom apartment in the bad part in town. A few months ago he got another house and had no money for a bed. Or a dresser. He bought a futon and bunch of storage containers to store his clothes. I felt bad, seeing the best man I've known go through this because the man he loved wasn't loyal. He's wanted to get a bedroom set so he can have room to sleep and cuddle with his golden retriever Honey. Today is Black Friday and I went to the local bed store. I bought a headset that was regular almost $6,000 and bought it for $2,000. It's getting delivered tomorrow, and I'm going to be there to visit this weekend. I can't wait for his reaction. He is truly the sweetest man on earth. He deserves the world. Edit, I think my dad found this throwaway account. He's up to something. NVM, he's just being goofy. Update, when the delivery truck came my dad was so confused and rushed outside. He told the driver he has made a mistake and the driver handed him the papers. Once he read his address and my name he assumed that I got myself a bed for his house. I've been sleeping on the recliner. So the guys brought it to my bedroom and I quickly told them it wasn't for me and to bring it to the bedroom next to mine. So there goes my dad getting all angry at the guys telling them that they are supposed to put it into the other room. That's when I told him. He is currently jumping on the mattress as I set up the bed frame. I have a surprise for my sons when they comes home. Things were going well and then bad stuff happened. For almost 2 years, we were not sure if we were going to be on the streets, but it seemed likely. I barely got by for a year, but we had to do without. I am so ashamed about this. A father should be able to provide for his sons, especially when he is a single father. I just take solace in that we played it off that we were not poor. For example, my 9-year-old has not had a proper bed for 3 years. Just a rollaway bed. It was nothing short of a miracle that I got the job that I got a year ago. It literally saved our lives. All of a sudden money isn't an issue. I had to still live on a budget because it was too good to be true. Now I know I am doing a good job. My boss is happy with me. I am raking tons in OT. We have good insurance, etc. I ended up finding a spacious house last month. Not apartment like we live in now. Well within what I can afford right across the street from their school and park, and have been secretly filling it up with new furniture this month and had movers move in all of our stuff. Today. They both are actually at the park across the street right on a play date and seriously have no idea. Edit, thanks for the support. It sorta backfired. I met them at the park and their friends were picked up. They asked where their car was because they were cold. I pointed to the car in a driveway and they were confused. I told them that was our new home. They were even more confused and slightly disturbed. I took them to the house and told them to look around, and all of their stuff was there, including new stuff. They asked about the apartment and I told them we had moved out so we could live in a bigger and better place. It wasn't that they weren't happy, but they were overwhelmed and blindsided. They wanted to know why I didn't tell them and were worried that if I had forgotten something at the apartment then they weren't going to be able to get it back and felt excluded. Today they were a bit more relaxed and explored the house. They're getting used to having a kitchen sink. We did not have one at the apartment, and a dishwasher, and having a front and back door and a backyard. That's all theirs. I'm pretty sure in a few days they will adapt to it and won't miss their old place. Now sub. Please.